Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to the merged batch number 6 and 7. Thank you all for joining at the new batch, at the combined batch and the revised time. So today we are going to cover an out of sequence topic on offenses to avoid. So there are 4 scriptures that we have to study, the basic scriptures. Bhagavad Gita, then Nectar of Instruction, then Nectar of Devotion, then Sri Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita and Sri Upanishad are the philosophy, and Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion are the practice of the philosophy explained in these scriptures. So, this offenses to avoid the topic is in Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 8. If I wait in sequence, then this offenses to avoid topic will come down the line about 1.5 or 2 years away. But majority of your spiritual advancement happens by not doing offenses. Therefore, this is a very, very important topic, and therefore we are discussing way ahead of the schedule. And as we will discuss, you will realize the importance of this topic, and we'll discuss practical aspects also. So Nectar of Devotion, the invocation is slightly different. So I will bring up on screen and you can follow along. But as we get to Nectar of Devotion, I will explain more about this. So let's start with the invocation. Nana Shastra Vicharinako Nipano Saddharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Saryanyakarano Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. So I will have everything on the screen, which is basically the extract from Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 8. So we'll follow along from the screen and we'll have a lot of reading to do. So read at a faster pace. Everybody will have lot of opportunities to read. So this is a very important topic of offenses to avoid. I will repeat what I have learned from previous acharyas. It is very important to not do offenses because bulk of your spiritual growth is by not doing offenses. So as we'll read through, I request all of you that do not be afraid of what we will all be reading and discussing. Rather, to avoid offenses, we have to be conscious of Krishna and Krishna's devotees, and we have to be respectful to Krishna and Krishna's devotees. I'll lay the foundation first with a lot of talking before we start reading from the screen. So offenses, what exactly does offenses mean? In Sanskrit, it is known as aparad. The word aparad comes from Radha, that is Rad, that is referring to Srimati Radharani, and apa means to take away. So offenses means, or aparad means, that which takes away from Srimati Radharani, or that which takes me away from devotional services. Now I will briefly explain about our sins and pious acts, about our karmic reactions. So all of us have a big bucket of karmic reactions hanging behind our back. And you can visualize with the example of red M&M chocolates and green M&M chocolates. So red M&M means something that I have to suffer, and green means something I have to enjoy. So red is suffering, green is enjoyment, and these red and green M&Ms are sitting in a big bucket at the back of at my back. Now Krishna puts his hand in the big bucket of karma and picks up a scoop of red and green M&M chocolates and puts it in a small cup. That becomes my current life, meaning the sufferings that I have to go through in my current life and the enjoyment that I will have in my current life. Now, pap or sin, as well as punya or pious, are at material level. So we cannot continue to do sinful activities because it has negative consequences. Aparad or offenses is more harmful than sin because aparad or offenses is at the spiritual level. Because aparad or offenses is anti-devotional, therefore we have to be very, very careful to not do offenses. Offenses mean we disrespect that which should be respected. So don't have fear of offenses. Does not mean you continue to do offenses. Rather, by me saying don't have fear of offenses means cultivate a respectful attitude, because our study of scriptures is meant for us to transform. So the primary focus of offenses is to treat Krishna and Krishna's devotees respectfully. The common principle or the basic principle in the list of offenses that we will start reading very soon, the common principle is to be respectful so that we are remembering Krishna. If we are remembering Krishna, then automatically we will avoid these offenses. Now, what is the result of offenses? The result of offenses is that we don't experience any taste in devotional service, and without taste of devotional service, it will be very difficult for us to continue in doing devotional service because we need happiness. Simultaneously, material taste props up and we get attracted to material taste. Plus, when we do offenses, anarthas develop. So what does anartha mean? Artha means something that has purpose, something that has meaning. And anartha means that which has no purpose, no meaning. So when we do offenses, the 6 famous anarthas develop, then it becomes very hard to do devotional service. So the anarthas that develop are lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, and illusion. So these anarthas act as barriers. And when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because of these barriers, because of these anarthas that have come about after offenses, then these anarthas act as barriers from the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra going into our heart. The result of anarthas is that ignorance becomes strong and devotional service becomes weak. So as I am progressing, feel free to ask any and all questions as we go along, because this is a very heavy topic and a very important topic. Any questions, comments, realizations so far? Okay. Next, I will describe categories of offenses. So I will describe 2 categories. First is Seva Aprad, meaning offenses while doing Gopinath worship or any service. If offenses are committed while worshipping Gopinath or while doing services, and then if we chant attentively, this is very important, chanting attentively, and pray to Krishna for forgiveness, then Krishna will forgive the offenses committed while worshipping Gopinath or while doing services. Meaning, holy name is far more merciful than Krishna himself. Now, just because holy name is merciful does not mean I have to be careless in Gopinath worship and while doing services. No, I have to still be very, very cautious. It's just that the modes of material nature plus my default inclinations, my inabilities may cause me to do certain offenses. So those of you who are from the Toronto temple, who are able to go on the back side of the altar, not everybody is allowed, it's mainly restricted for pujari. So on the back side of the altar where all the preparations happen for Gopinath worship, for Bhoga offering, outside on the wall and on the fridge there are these various mantras posted which ask for forgiveness. So all the pujaris, they chant these mantras after every service to ask for forgiveness. Now, pujaris, they are elevated, second initiated devotees. Even they are doing these offenses and they are asking for forgiveness. Not necessarily they are doing offenses, but they still are taking the humble position to chant these mantras to ask for forgiveness after every offense or after every service. Now, the second category is Nam Aparad, or offenses against chanting the holy name. When I start chanting, I will do offenses, and I request all to still continue chanting even with offenses, with the goal that I should come to try to chant without offenses. Now, chanting with offenses does not contaminate the Mahamantra. It is just that either my chanting is pure or impure. By avoiding offenses, we are trying to make our chanting pure. By chanting without offenses, only then we can get Krishna's lotus feet. So continue to chant even with offenses, because chanting with offenses is better than not chanting at all. And it is the offensive chanting that will lead to pure chanting. To understand this with an example, say a small child is trying to learn to walk, but he keeps falling. So if the child says, "Oh, I keep falling, I will stop trying to walk," well, then he will never be able to walk. So the proper process is exactly what the child does, is that the child keeps getting up again and again and learns to walk, not only walk, run and run marathons and 100-meter race and whatnot. Similarly, you will soon realize that my chanting is offensive right now. So don't stop chanting just because it is offensive. Just be cautious and conscious. More important is conscious. Be conscious that my chanting is offensive, and how do I come to doing my chanting without committing the offenses. Therefore, absolutely do not stop chanting. So offensive chanting is not useless, but offensive chanting will take a long time to purify. I will pause here for any questions, comments, realizations so far.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, could you tell us what offensive chanting is like?
Welcome. Yeah, it's coming up. I'll explain the symptoms of offenseless chanting very soon, in a minute or so, and rest will become offensive chanting. So next point is the stages of chanting, which will answer Diksha's question in a minute. So one stage is offensive chanting. Means I have desires, and we'll discuss the 10 offenses very soon. If I am doing chanting with doing all those 10 offenses, then my chanting is offensive. Well, the list is coming up on the screen very soon. The next stage is cleansing stage. Means I have little bit of taste of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Offenses have almost stopped. Now this is a very high and a very important stage. Now getting to this point is not easy. So you can visualize this with an analogy of an airplane trying to climb. So airplane is taking off from the airport and there is lot of turbulence. till the airplane reaches cruising height. So that is, this cleansing stage is like the airplane under lot of turbulence before the airplane reaches cruising height. And then there is pure chanting stage. This is like the airplane is at the cruising height and the airplane is cruising. So offenseless chanting can get you liberation, but only pure chanting will get you love of God. So offenseless chanting, one of the symptoms is the devotee does not have false ego. So I'll give you the symptoms of offenseless chanter from Sikshastakam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained that one who thinks that he is lower than grass, is tolerant than a tree, does not expect personal honor, and prepared to give respect to others. So what are the symptoms? One is humble. Second is tolerant. Third is pridelessness. And fourth is respect for others. These are the symptoms of offenseless chanters. So one of the short message from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, he says our goal should be not only to chant, but to improve the quality of chanting, and we have to constantly endeavor to improve the quality of our chanting. Diksha, does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I will pause here for any questions, comments, realizations. Somebody has joined the Zoom call as Sarah Silwell. I don't know you. Can you please unmute and identify yourself? Okay, that devotee has signed out. All right. Maybe in a wrong Zoom call. Okay, so now I will bring up on screen the list of offenses. There are a lot of them. And we will read one by one and we'll discuss importance. Some are straightforward. So we'll discuss important points. And of course, you can feel free to ask any and all questions. So we'll have this highlighted on the screen, and whosoever's name I call will go in sequence. And they can read one after the other. So we'll start with Chaitanya Prabhu. Read whatever is highlighted on the screen.
Hare Krishna. Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. In the supplementary Vedic literature, there is the following list of 32 offenses in the matter of serving the Lord. Number 1. One should not enter the temple of the deity in a car or palanquin or with shoes on the feet. Number 2. One should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Janmashtami and Rath Yatra. Number 3. One should not avoid bowing down before the deity. Number 4. One should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one's hands and feet after eating. Number 5. One should not enter the temple in a contaminated state. According to Vedic scripture, if someone dies in the family, the whole family becomes contaminated for some time, according to its status. For example, if the family is Brahmana, their contamination period is 12 days. For the Kshatriya and Vaishyas, it is 15 days. And for Sudras, 30 days. Thank you.
So, Hare Krishna. So, all these points are straightforward. I'm pretty sure you would want to know about point number 5 about death in a family. That why I should not go to the temple. It's all the more reason that when somebody has left the body, I should go to the temple to find solace. So understand that when a family member leaves the body, generally your mind is disturbed. And if you go in front of Gopinath in that disturbed mind, you may end up telling Gopinath, why did you take away my family member? Or you may shout at Gopinath. Now, he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows what he is doing. And you, by telling Gopinath that why did you take away my family member, what you are telling is that Gopinath, you are not knowledgeable. That becomes an offense. So don't go in front of Gopinath, and all of us are Shudras unless you know otherwise. So for 30 days. So this 30-day period is not carved in stone. If it is an immediate family member, you probably will be disturbed even longer than 30 days. Or if it is a distant family member, then you may be disturbed only for a day or two. So the idea of this restriction is that you don't go in front of Gopinath. You don't do services. But it is okay to go to the temple, to other parts of the temple where you can meet with devotees and get guidance and find some solace and as to what exactly you should be doing. Everybody with me? Questions, comments, realizations? All right.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Parikshan Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah. So if someone in my family dies, am I not allowed to chant Krishna's name as well?
You're supposed to chant more than what you are chanting. So as soon as somebody is about to leave the body or has left the body, you should chant so that the person leaving the body gets an opportunity to remember Krishna, to hear Krishna's name at the time of leaving the body. Krishna says in chapter Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse number 5, Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Smaran muktva kalevaram. That Antakale is end of life, that if somebody remembers Krishna at the time of death, then he attains Krishna and does not come back. Parikshan Prabhu, does that help you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Deep Prabhu, next, what is highlighted on screen?
Hare Krishna. One should not bow down on one hand. One should not circumambulate in front of Sri Krishna. The process of circumambulating the temple is that one should begin circumambulating from the deity's right-hand side of the temple and come around. Such circumambulation should be performed outside the temple structure at least 3 times daily. One should not spread his leg before the deity. One should not sit before the deity holding the ankles, elbows or knees with one's hand. One should not lie down before the deity of Krishna.
So very important point. So when you go to the temple, say when you are sitting there or in the Sunday Feast program on how to sit and how to not sit, the one point I will discuss is point number 7 about circumambulation. That you should circle from outside the temple in a clockwise direction. Means you start from the right side and then circle 3 times. not in an anti-clockwise direction. The anti-clockwise is inauspicious. Now, some of you have seen the Bhoga offering demonstration from my home temple. What I have done is I have left space behind the temple at my home temple. So I can circumambulate from outside of the temple. So home temples are very small. But those of you who are at the Toronto temple, there's no space behind the temple or within the temple while you are inside the temple to circumambulate. So if you have to circumambulate, you should circumambulate from outside on the street. You will notice that some devotees circumambulate in front of Gopinath. That's an offense. Don't do it. Just because somebody is doing, just because they have not studied scriptures, you all on a go forward basis follow the proper process. Everybody with me? Questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Sunima.
So, do we have to circumambulate every time we go to the temple, or
You should try. You should try. So these are given directly from scriptures. So you should try. So when you go to the temple, if you are doing services, service anyway takes care. But if you are going to the temple and you are sitting and doing japa, just walk outside and do your japa while walking. Of course, you have to consider the weather. Now here in Toronto from now, it's very cold and it's very snowy. It's a little difficult to walk in that snow and slush, then you avoid. But during summer times, when you are chanting, instead of just sitting in the temple room and chanting, just take a walk. It doesn't take long. It may take you one round of japa and simultaneously you're doing the 3 times circumambulation from outside the temple. Sumnima?
so Prabhuji, we do it the entire temple?
Yes, from
I think
outside.
little-
Yeah, from outside, it's the entire temple.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
And worst case scenario, so for example, those devotees who are here in North America, where from now it becomes, the weather is little difficult. So for example, yesterday was minus 17 degrees centigrade. That's pretty cold. Of course, you can put on jackets and go, and but it was snowing a lot. So it's a little difficult. In those times, you can circumambulate in your mind. All right, let's see. Dhara.
11. One should not accept a prasad before the deity. 12. One should never speak a lie before the deity. 13. One should not talk very loudly before the deity. 14. One should not talk with others before the deity. 15. One should not cry or howl before the deity.
So we discussed certain important points in the previous slide about do not spread your legs, do not hold your ankles, do not lie down in front of Gopinath. And same applies for prasad. So those of you who come for Sunday feast, you will remember that they wait till the Gopinath doors close. Only then they serve prasad. Why? Because it's stated directly in the scriptures that we don't have to eat or honor prasad in front of Gopinath. And do not cry. Now, crying in ecstasy is okay. Or crying for service or how to serve Krishna and spiritual master, these are okay. Not only okay, they are better. The crying refers to that don't cry to complain about others. To Gopinath. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations? Okay. We'll continue our reading. So now from 16 onwards, Diksha.
One should not quarrel or fight before the deity. One should not chastise anyone before the deity. One should not be charitable to beggars before the deity. One should not speak very harshly to others before the deity. One should not wear a fur blanket before the deity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so these are straightforward. I don't have anything to discuss unless somebody has any questions. Okay.
Prabhuji, could you please explain point number 18?
Yeah. So when you become charitable to beggars in front of Gopinath, they don't know the value of, say, prasad that you are giving him. They may either eat in front of Gopinath, or they may throw away, or they may do something that is not appropriate, and that becomes harmful for the beggar because he is committing an offense without really knowing. So here, even at the Toronto temple, many times beggars do come. So we tell them to go in the basement and take prasad from there, so that in the basement they are not in front of any of the altars, and even if they do something incorrect, they are at least not committing an offense directly per se. Means you are trying to actually help. So your goal is to help them, but if they end up disrespecting prasad or shouting or whatever, then that isn't really a help there. So you have to help according to what is really helpful for them. Diksha?
Yes, Prabhuji, could you please explain point number 20 as well?
Yeah. So for blanket, or even if it's a jacket, they are generally made from animal products. So all living entities are siblings. They are all parts and parcels of Krishna. So by using their body parts, you are killing directly or indirectly. So you can buy a fur jacket from the market. So you'll say, I did not kill. No, but you bought the jacket, means there was a market for you. So you are indirectly involved in the killing. Therefore, don't put on those blankets. Don't go in front of Gopinath with those animal product jackets. Diksha?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
All right. Himani, what is highlighted on screen? Himani, unmute, yeah.
One should not eulogize or praise anyone else before the deity. One should not speak any ill names before the deity. One should not pass air before the deity. One should not fall to worship the deity according to one's means. One should not eat anything that is not offered first to Krishna.
Again, are pretty straightforward, that do not praise anyone else. Do not praise others. I mean, you can praise others, just not in front of Krishna. You can praise service rather than the devotee. You can say, look, he did very good service. So you're praising service. But don't try to praise others in front of Gopinath. Everybody on the same page? Sumnima?
Prabhuji, when you say in front of the deity, like as long as our eyes can see it, or the area inside it, how do we define that?
Yeah, temple room. Temple room is, you are in front of Gopinath. You may be in a one corner where you may not have direct vision of Gopinath, but you are still in the temple room. You may not be able to see Gopinath. Gopinath is able to see you. So as long as you are in the temple room, like in Toronto temple, the temple room is very big. And if you are in a corner, you think I can do anything and everything. No, Gopinath is able to see you. So as long as you are in the temple room, all these offenses that we are reading, don't do any of these. I mean, you should not be doing ever, but at least don't do in the temple room. For example, this passing of air. Don't pass air in the temple room. No, go outside, go in the basement, go somewhere else, go to the washroom. Somnima?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
All right. Mansi, what is highlighted on screen?
One should not fail to offer fresh fruit and grains to Krishna according to the season. 27. After food has been cooked, no one should be offered any foodstuff unless it is first offered to the deities. 28. One should not sit with his back towards the deity. 29. One should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master, or in other words, one should recite aloud the prayers to the spiritual masters while offering obeisances. 30. One should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of the spiritual master. 31st. One should not praise himself before the spiritual master. 32. One should not uh, uh, deride the demigods before the deities. Hare Krishna.
Okay, again, pretty straightforward. Now, point number 28, that one should not sit with his back. So we discussed this at our last class when I explained about how to offer obeisances. It comes right from scriptures. I did not make it up. It says right here, do not sit with your back towards the deity. And I also described that when you are walking from one altar to the other, so for example, from Prabhupada's altar to the rest of the altars, walk diagonally, or when you are standing, stand diagonally. And when you are sitting, don't sit with your back to any of the altars. Now, in terms of praising yourself, definitely don't praise yourself. That's a sign of arrogance. You are not humble. You can say, Gopinath, I got so and so service to do today. Instead of praising yourself, you can praise the service that you got. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In the same praising point, in the previous, there was that we cannot praise others also. So why is it an offense to the deities?
Yeah, because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should only be praising Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everybody else is lower than Krishna. Multiple places is described that no one is equal to, no one is higher than Krishna. So praise Krishna. In terms of praising other devotees, you can praise their service. That so and so devotee did so and so nice service for you, Gopinath. But don't praise the individual. Abhishek Prabhu?
Okay, thank you. And Prabhuji, why is this offering obeisance and prayers to the spiritual master should be loud?
Yeah, it just says. So why it says, I don't know the reason. So if you try to get details of every single item, there are details available. Take what is given in scriptures. Prabhupada has given us in summary form and brief what we are required to do. If you try to do and follow and learn every single rules, Prabhupada has also said this in lectures, that the volume of rules and regulations are in thousands and thousands and thousands. You will run away. Just take what it says, just take it. You have such a long laundry list of things to do and such a long laundry list of things to not do. Just follow. Abhishek Prabhu?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, all these are coming directly from scriptures. I have not made up any of these. All right. Now we'll continue to read. All these are again coming from Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 8. So we had this count, and now there is second count starts, meaning the offenses are given in next scripture, but they are all combined for us by Srila Prabhupada in Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 8. Matan Prabhu, what is highlighted on screen?
Hare Krishna. One should not touch the deity in a dark room. Number 2, one should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulations in worshipping the deity. Number 3, one should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound. Number 4, one should not offer any food stuff to the deity which has been seen by dogs or other low animals. Number 5, one should not break silence while worshipping. Hare Krishna.
Right. So number 3 we also discussed at our last class, that I had shown how to enter and exit temple. Comes right from the scriptures, that one should not enter the temple without first making a sound. Everybody remembers from our last class?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, let's continue
Hare
reading.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Abhishek Prabhu, go ahead.
This fifth point, like what is the meaning of like silence? Like sometimes we sing while worshipping.
So singing is not breaking your silence.
So like silent here, it means that we should not talk to others, like in that sense.
So somebody has taken a vow that he will be silent for such a long time, and now he's coming to the temple and he's breaking his silence. So that the scripture says, don't do it. Now come prepared, that those of devotees who are here in Toronto temple, I tell them, come prepared ahead of time to prepare your consciousness. So when you are in front of Gopinath, you should have 108% attention on the Lord. When you are doing worship, should focus on Gopinath rather than focusing on your previous vow. Have undivided attention, that you are full-heartedly focused and approaching the Lord, rather than your half heart is, oh, I am in my silence vow. No, it says your mind is very flickering. Bring your mind back and have undivided attention while you are in front of Gopinath. Now, other conversations can take place at other time. You are in front of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Have undivided attention. And you can judge for yourself. Say when you go for a job interview, do you talk on the phone with somebody else when you are in front in the interview? Abhishek Prabhu and others?
No, Pray.
Why not?
It is disrespectful to
Right.
Okay.
Right. You are and that manager who's supposed to be your hiring manager or interview manager, he's just a manager. He's just an ordinary jiva. While here in front of Gopinath, you are in front of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should have 108%. Means at the interview, if you have 100%, well, definitely in front of Gopinath, you should have much more attention. Abhishek Prabhu, does that help you?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, like in essence, this particular point was mentioned for especially those who are taking vows, and in general, we should not talk about other things
Correct.
in front of deities.
Correct. You are correct. So we read in the previous slides that no, have focus on Krishna. Do worship, do chanting, do kirtan, and when you are glorifying, glorify Gopinath. And when you are in front of other devotees, you can glorify other service. Or for yourself, you can say, Gopinath, thank you. You gave me so and so service. You can thank about the services you got. Don't glorify yourself. Abhishek Prabhu and everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Dara.
Prabhuji, what if someone else is talking to you? How do you handle that?
Yeah, you can politely say, you can divert the conversation to politely say, look at Gopinath. Look how beautiful he is today. Look how smiling his face is. Look at the decoration. Look at the gopi dots. I mean, there is infinite things that you can talk of Gopinath. You can just divert the conversation to Gopinath.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Very good practical point.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone known to be have like offense list chanting, because the list is so long and there's like always there's going to be one or other offense, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah,
I guess.
you are correct that the list is quite long. So I said at the start that don't be afraid of this list. You will start noticing what Dhara just described. You become conscious that I should not be doing these offenses. My goal is that right now I am doing offenses. My goal should be I should be moving towards offenseless state. So that should just be your goal. There are many pure devotees who chant offenselessly, who do services offenselessly. Example, spiritual masters. There are many. It's just that when you meet the spiritual masters, you have to observe how the spiritual master is doing. So this discussion about observing spiritual master will come up in our discussion, but I am briefly describing. Pravesh Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right, very good. Okay, let's see who's next. Monarch Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Number 6, one should not pass urine or evacuate while engaged in worshipping. 7, one should not offer incense without offering some flower. Number 8, unless useless flowers without any fragrance should not be offered. Number 9, one should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. Number 10, one should not enter the temple directly after sexual intercourse. Hare Krishna.
So again, are pretty straightforward points in terms of passing urine and evacuate. Those of you who spoke to me before coming for services last time, I explained the same point, that try to prepare yourself before coming to the temple for services. So we go to the temple for services just around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I say start preparing from early morning, that drink very little water so that you don't have to go to the washroom. And even before coming to the temple, go to the washroom, take a shower, put on clean clothes and come for services in a Vrajvas mood, no nails, no nail polish, and no ornaments, simple clothing, not torn clothing, simple clothing. I described all of this. Some of you remember, all those who are from Toronto Temple, I had an offline chat with some of you. Do you remember, some of you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's continue reading. Okay, let's see who's next. Nishan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. 11. One should not enter the temple after touching a woman during her menstrual period. 12. One should not enter the temple after touching a dead body. 13. One should not enter the temple wearing garments or red or blue color or garments which are unwashed. Number 14. One should not enter the temple after seeing a dead body. Number 15. One should not pass air within the temple.
Again, are pretty straightforward the points. Any questions, comments, realizations? Sumnima?
Prabhuji, so should we be going to the temple during our menstrual period?
You can go to the temple during your monthly cycles. You just don't have to do services. You can go. So when you are in front of Gopinath, you stand little far away, and I can get you connected to a Vaishnavi who can better explain to you. I have briefly described, but I can get you connected. Sumnima, you anyway have contact of Shalini Gopal Krishna. You can speak to Shalini Gopal Krishna, and all Vaishnavis can speak to her. Or if you want, I have my god sister, who is an initiated devotee. I can set up a call for all of you with her, and you can ask directly to her about your female-related situation. Sumnima, what helps you?
Yes, Prabhuji, that would be great.
Okay, I will set up a time. Ritu?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hi, Krishna.
Prabhuji, point number 14, one should not enter the temple after seeing a dead body.
What's your question?
Why is it so?
So, dead body also, whether or not you are related, it actually contaminates your thought process. And the dead body itself is contaminated. So if you are seeing or you are very close, you kind of are getting those contaminations. That's what you are trying to avoid.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
All right. Hey, Nishan Prabhu. So we have Nishan and Nishan. Now Nishan.
Krishna, number 16, one should not be angry within the temple. Number 17, one should not enter the temple after visiting a ceremony tomb. Number 18, one should not pledge before the deity. So, until one has fully digested his food, he should not enter the temple. Number 19, one should not smoke marijuana or gaja. Number 20, one should not take opium or similar intoxicants. Hare Krishna.
Okay, pretty straightforward that avoid all these anarthas in front of Gopinath. Any questions? Abhishek,
So this digestion question, like there are also points like how we don't have control. Like suppose we are in the temple, we just took prasad and then we go back to the temple room. So is it not broken in that sense?
Yeah, so you try your best that when you are coming to the temple for services, first take darshan and then start your services. Then when the services are finished, then you go and honor prasad. So you fix your sequence properly so that you can avoid the belching in front of Gopinath after you take prasad. And say if you have this condition that no matter whether you take a little or more prasad, you belch, then wait for a little while before going back to the temple. You just have to wait out so that the prasadam is digested. Abhishek Prabhu?
So like Prabhuji, so then like in our daily programs, like if we are in temple, then we attend the morning program, we take prasad. So we have just eaten. So in that case, should we avoid going to the temple hall after just taking prasad?
So if you talk of the whole morning program, you generally don't take prasad until about 8:30 or 9 p.m. So if you start from 4:30, for example, Dhara goes to the temple almost every day, early morning. So what happens? 4:30 you have Mangal Aarti, then you have Tulsi Aarti, then you read one scripture, then you do japa, then you hear Bhagavatam class, then or before Bhagavatam you are also have the 7 o'clock Aarti and Guru Puja, then Bhagavatam, then comes Prasad. I mean, you already are there in 3-4 hours. So your sequence is already set that way. I'm not sure why this is not possible for you.
No, I'm not saying that we have not done the sequence. I'm saying that after we have done the sequence and we take prasad.
Yeah.
So, like, or let's say we have home deities.
Yeah.
So we are in the home all the time with them.
Yeah.
So we have our morning program and then we took prasad. But after that,
so just wait out. Like the belching doesn't go on for 24 hours. It's just that when the food is getting digested, just wait. You don't have to go immediately after eating. You don't have to go immediately in front of Gopinath. Just wait for a little while, and the belching will go away. Abhishek Prabhu?
it also is just not like the point also discusses that your food should be fully digested. which is a longer process.
Fully digested in the sense about belching. So digestion generally takes few hours, but it's the initial time is when you have all this discomfort or belching and whatnot. Just wait out for a little while. You don't have to wait for 3 hours. Generally, food takes 3 hours to digest. So again, understand, apply these rules and regulations according to time, place, and circumstances. Now, if some devotee has this belching issue, he will wait out. Not every devotee has this belching issue. Then he can go in front of Gopinath immediately after eating. Abhishek Prabhu.
Now it's clear. Thank you.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Deep Prabhu, go ahead.
Prabhu, I have a question regarding the other point, where on 17 point, where it says one should not enter temple after visiting a crematorium.
Yeah.
And before that as well, it shows like during the menstrual cycle, women also cannot enter. So what if we like unknowingly, if we touch any woman, like we don't know, right? We meet a lot of people and sometimes we do not know. So in that case, what should we do?
Yeah, so Vaishnav should not be touching Vaishnavi, and so you try to maintain distance. And even when devotees come for services together, so we try to separate, meaning Vaishnava are on one table, Vaishnavis on other table as much as possible. I don't say that it is 100% always like this. So we try to maintain a distance. But now that you all are studying the scriptures properly, so the Vaishnavi would know that the Vaishnavi should not be going to the temple or should not be doing services. The Vaishnavi can go to the temple during the monthly cycle period. It's just that not for services. I mean, if you try to apply these rules and regulations with strict stick in your hand, you will not be able to do services at all. So understand, we have to apply this according to time, place, and circumstances. Service is important. Not doing offenses is important also. As much as we can, we try to do our best. Will I ever be able to do 100% without offenses? I personally will never be able to come to that level. So we try our best to avoid all of these points as much as possible, rather than worrying. So if you sometimes later on realize that accidentally you brushed a Vaishnavi or without your knowledge who had menstruation, well, you didn't really mean to touch that Vaishnavi. Deep Prabhu, does that help you?
Yes, Prabhu, definitely. But just like usually, if any one of us like is visiting the temple, maybe it's straight from the work, or maybe straight from the school, or maybe from the college, right? So over there we have like meet so many people, even the boys and girls, because we are all studying and working together.
Yeah, very good point. So understand that last week when we all went for services, one of the devotee had the same situation, that the devotee was coming from work to the temple. Rest of the devotees, I told all of them, take a shower from home and then come fresh. This devotee was coming from the workplace. So I asked whether the devotee has the opportunity for taking shower at the workplace. It just so happened that this devotee had the ability, that the workplace had shower. So I asked the devotee, take shower, change clothes, and then come. So our goal should be that we have to do services in proper frame of mind. Service is not a mechanical task. So if you are coming from work directly, be very cautious in terms of what services you will be able to do and what services you will not be able to do. So those devotees who came for services last week here at the Toronto Temple, I explained and I'll briefly repeat that we all did services in the temple kitchen. Now temple kitchen is an extension of altar. So if you are not 100% clear whether you are fully cleansed externally and internally, Well, then don't do service in the kitchen, do service someplace else, like cleaning someplace else. And those devotees who came to do services at the temple kitchen last time, even though they took shower, came in clean clothes, the first thing what I asked everybody remembers what's the first thing I asked everybody to do before starting any service? Those who came, Dhara, who else? Mona,
Achman, Prabhuji.
Raksha, Achman, exactly. Very good. So Achman is a brief process to purify your consciousness. So all these devotees did a short achman, that's a 3-step process. And then there is a long achman to cleanse all parts of the body. So we started, many of them came for the first time. So we started with the short achman where you cleanse your consciousness, then start doing services. Does that help you, Deep Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. Super excellent practical inquiries. Everybody on the same page? All right. I got silence. Okay. Next point. Let's see who's to read. Padma Kumar Prabhu, are you able to read the highlighted in yellow from screen?
One should not enter the deity room or touch the body of the deity after having smeared oil over his body. One should not show disrespect to a scripture teaching about the supremacy of the Lord. One should not introduce any opposing scripture. One should not chew betel before the deity. One should not offer a flower which is kept in an unclean pot.
Okay, pretty straightforward points. Any questions, anybody? Okay. Parikshan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. One should not worship the Lord while sitting on the bare floor. One must have a sitting place or carpet. One should not touch the deity before one has completed taking bath. One should not decorate his forehead with the 3-lined tilaka. One should not enter the temple without washing his hands or feet.
Okay, very good. So again, same points about washing hands and feet. So those of you who did Achman, we started by washing hands and feet. I did not make it up. It comes right from the scripture. And the tilak, I forgot to mention about the tilak for those who came last time. So next time you will come, next Sunday also we are going for services. So I'll explain the tilak also. So we have to do the Vaishnav tilak, not the 3-line tilak. Any questions, comments, realizations?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have one question. I want you to highlight the point number 12. It was on last slide, where it said that one shouldn't speak lie in front of deity. But I think I have spoken lies many times. So how can I amend myself?
Yeah, so on a go forward basis, you follow all these process and offer obeisances and ask for forgiveness. Plus, I explained that these offenses, if you do and you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra by attentive chanting, Krishna will forgive. The next slide which will come up is offenses against chanting. That is very difficult. So all these offenses that we have discussed so far, if you do any of these offenses inadvertently, or sometimes even knowingly, the goal should be that on a go forward basis, I will not do these offenses. So ask for forgiveness. And this asking for forgiveness is an upcoming discussion. So ask for forgiveness from Gopinath as well as chant attentively. Does that help you, Parikshan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
All right. Questions, comments, realizations before we actually discuss the heavy component, and you all will be wondering what? This wasn't heavy. Yes, the heavy component is still coming up. Nishan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is there any way we can get this PDF file just for the reference?
So you can get the recording and it's all in there. Otherwise, it's there in Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 8, but I can, of course, send it to you. That's all right. I can send you I mean, the slides are anyway there in the recording. You can get the recording.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Either way, you can connect with me offline. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations. So far, we have discussed offenses which are seva aparad, means offenses which you are doing while doing services or while you are in the temple room. And after this, we'll discuss offenses against chanting of the holy name. So far, the offenses that we have discussed, if you do these offenses, as I described to Pariksha and Prabhu, then if you chant and you can get forgiveness. But the next set of offenses which we'll discuss, they are really, really difficult. If you do those offenses, there isn't really a remedy. Of course, I will discuss the remedies also, but our goal is that we should not be doing the offenses against chanting of the holy name or any of these offenses also. Padma Kumar Prabhu.
Yeah, that Achman thing, can you just give a minute on that one?
So Achman, it's easier if I can explain to you in person. So what Achman is that you take 3 drops, wash your hands, wash the other hand, wash the feet. Then you take 3 drops, and for every drop you say the prayers, Om Keshavaya Nama, Om Narayan Nama, Om Madhavaya Nama. That way you are purifying your consciousness. But best is next time you are visiting temple, and if I am also there, or if some of the devotees from the class who have learned, you can just get them to teach you the Achman. It's easier to explain in person rather than just describing it over the phone. Padma Kumar Prabhu, does that help you?
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions, comments, realizations?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, does one have to become a spiritual master to go to the Godhead, or even when we're doing offensive chanting or even no chanting, we can go to the Godhead?
So with offensive chanting, you cannot go to Godhead. To go to Godhead, you don't have to be a spiritual master. You just have to become cleansed, means you have to become a pure devotee. Pure devotee means you have no aspirations to enjoy your body and senses. You don't have any aspirations to enjoy in material world. Your only aspiration is to serve Gopinath. But you don't have to be a spiritual master to go back home to Godhead. Ramesh Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right. Okay. So now we'll discuss offenses against chanting the holy name. These are 10 offenses that we have to avoid doing. We will briefly discuss each of these 10 offenses against chanting the holy name, as well as remedies. You cannot achieve love of Godhead if you continue to do these offenses. So if the previous ones were eye-opener, well, these are really, really strict, these 10 offenses. So be very, very cautious, at least on a go-forward basis. Understand, you don't have to be afraid of offenses. You just have to be cautious and work towards not doing offenses. We discussed that as long as you are respecting Krishna and Krishna's devotees, then you will automatically avoid doing offenses. Okay, let's see. Who read last? Was it Parikshan who read last? Or was it Padma Kumar? Who was the last one who read from the previous slide? Parikshan, did you read? I forget.
Yes, Prabhu, I read last time.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Parikshan Prabhu, are you able to read from the screen what is highlighted? Pravesh Prabhu? Read from the screen.
Prabhuji. The chanting of Hare Krishna is beneficial for eradicating all sins, but if one becomes an offender to the holy names of the Lord, then he has no chance of being delivered. The 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows: to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
So this is offense number 1 of the 10 offenses, meaning blasphemy. So Krishna says, I love my devotees more than myself. So when you offend a devotee, you are basically offending Krishna. Now this offense number 1 is the most common offense, but also the easiest offense to avoid. But why it becomes hard to avoid this offense? Because we like to hear gossip. So don't enter into gossip. So what's the remedy if you blaspheme any devotees or if you blaspheme Krishna? So what's the remedy? If you offended devotee, fall on his feet and ask for forgiveness. Now here's a question for all of you. All of you, please try to answer. Let's make it interactive as much as possible. So I said that if you do offense, ask for forgiveness. Now, isn't this very much same as saying sorry? So here's a question for you all. How do you go beyond just the lip service of saying, I am sorry? Can anybody think of? Everybody try to answer. So we say sorry all the time, and next day we again do the same thing and we say sorry. Well, if you are doing it again, what's the value of your previous sorry? And what's the value of your current sorry if you know that you are going to do it again? So question is, how do you go beyond just this verbal I am sorry? Anybody wants to try?
Make sure you don't do it again.
Okay.
Just we have to make sure that we don't repeat the mistake again.
Yeah, but that's the same as sorry, isn't it? When you say sorry to somebody, did you not mean at that point in time? Generally, you will mean, oh, sorry, I don't want, but you end up doing it again and you again say sorry. So how do you go beyond just the lip service of saying I'm sorry? Anybody wants to try? Anybody wants to know?
Be conscious before speaking.
Okay.
Maybe you try to compensate what the mistake you did.
Yeah, but the mistake you did is an offense. It's not like the person lost some money. What's the compensation? You are blaspheming the devotee. So how do you compensate? Anybody wants to know what's the remedy?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, de-escalate. Not make it a big issue.
Okay.
Prabhuji, we want to know the remedy.
All right. So the remedy is that don't make your sorry just as lip service. You do some menial service to this devotee to whom you have offended. Yes, you fall on the feet, ask for forgiveness, and simultaneously with folded hands, say, please let me know how I can do some menial service to you. Then your repentance is real. If your repentance was just the lip service, I am sorry, then you will not go and do some service to this devotee. But if you really, really mean, like some of you say, that I will not repeat, well, then go and do some service. Everybody on the same page?
So, Prabhu, is it Hare Krishna? Prabhu, is it mean like sort of like prayashchit thing?
Yeah, it's a prayashchit. You are correct. But we'll discuss this in Nectar of Instruction, that in bhakti, the prayashchit, the bhakti itself is the prayashchit. Other processes, you go someplace else and do some austerity as your prayashchit. In bhakti, the service itself becomes your prayashchit. The Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Just one more question to this point. But like knowingly and unknowingly, we make offenses to the Vaishnava. Like how do we, like we know, you said like you have to bow down to the Vaishnava, right? But that's, we don't know like who we have offended.
Yeah, you are correct that so far you don't know. So next time you go in front of Gopinath, you ask for forgiveness for everything with the intention that on a go forward basis, you will not offend anyone. If you know you have offended some particular devotee, go and offer obeisances, fall down on his feet and ask to do some service to that devotee. The Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Mansi?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, to listen, to hear, like let's say some other devotee is talking about some other devotee in front of me. It's an example. So I don't want to listen about the other devotee.
Yeah, hold on. It's a coming up discussion. Hold your thought for a few more minutes. It's a coming up. Very good, very good practical. It's a upcoming practical discussion. Okay, let's move on. So I said this remedy is that I fall down at his feet and I ask for some menial service. Now, pride comes in my way. The other devotee, the other issue is that the other devotee may not want to forget or forgive you. In that case, then you go and take shelter of the holy name and ask for forgiveness if the other devotee is not ready to forgive you. Provided you yourself are trying to purely rectify yourself. Now, the challenge will happen when you offend a pure devotee. If you offend a pure devotee, the pure devotee is not offended to begin with, because pure devotee doesn't care anything about material. But Krishna still takes the offense. Therefore, be very careful. Now, here's a very important punchline. The purer you get, it becomes easier to identify that you are doing an offense to others. Versus if you are impure, then you will say others are doing offenses to me. So judge for yourself where you are. So develop to see only the good qualities of others. Everyone can see both good and bad, but talk only about the good qualities of other devotees. If you are humble, you will see your own faults more and less faults of others. So the more you advance in devotional service, the more you will feel like you are offending others. And while I am impure, I will think, hey, why are you offending me? You come offer obeisances and ask for forgiveness. Arey Baba, it doesn't work that way. It is my impurity. Therefore, judge for yourself. All this discussion is for our own. Don't go and imply this and apply this on others. Now a question will come up. We discussed that pure devotee. We discussed about the pure devotee that we have to be very careful. So here's a question. How do you know who is a pure devotee? Does anybody want to know who is a pure devotee?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, for what?
I want to know who is a pure devotee.
Okay. The rest of you? I got
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, for what?
One who always chanting Hare Krishna is the third word.
Okay. Are you not also chanting? You are pure devotee, Matan Prabhu?
I'm chanting like only 16 rounds. So I mean,
Okay, that's a lot anyway. So, how do you know who is a pure devotee?
Just treat everyone as a pure devotee.
Okay, very good. Dara is elevated. Okay, so let me answer. Everyone is a pure devotee except me. So where's the question of knowing somebody is pure or not? Where's the question of distinguishing and applying this? No, everybody is a pure devotee except me. Therefore, do not do offenses at all. Does that help you all? Somnima, you got
Yes,
that
Prabhu.
answer?
So,
Okay.
Prabhuji, does this mean uh, we just like take everybody else as devotee and not pure devotee, not us?
You are absolutely correct. Everyone in the material world is a devotee except me. So where's the question of distinguishing anyone? Everybody is a devotee. I just have to avoid offenses to every single person in the material world. So here's a question for you all. How many of you are scared to go closer to pure devotees because you may do offenses? Anybody scared?
Now that I know everyone is a pure devotee, it is confusing.
So not everyone is not a pure devotee. Everyone is a devotee. Right? So there's a difference. Not everybody is a pure devotee. Everyone is a devotee. Therefore, I have to respect everyone. Anybody? Are you all scared to go closer to pure devotees because pure devotees, Krishna lives in their heart and they live in Krishna's heart? Silence. I got silence.
Yes, probably.
Yes, for what, Sheila?
Like I might do something wrong.
So I said from the start that you don't have to be scared. If you have the mood of service, then you don't have to be scared at all. So don't be scared. Just develop the humble service mood and you will not do any offenses. All right, let's finish this quickly. We are a little behind. Let's finish this. Okay, let's see who read last. Prabesh Prabhu read. Raksha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
So both points are important. That you don't consider the demigods to be equal as well as don't think that they are independent. The remedy, if you do this offense number 2, the remedy is give up the association of demigod worshippers. We'll have a very heavy discussion in chapter 4 about demigods. Right now, give up the association of demigod worshippers. Okay. Offense number 3, Ritu.
Yes, Prabhuji. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
So spiritual master is at the same level as Krishna. So if you disobey spiritual master, means you are disobeying Krishna because spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. When spiritual master gives you some instructions, means spiritual master is also empowering you. Now, this most severe offense against chanting holy name is to consider spiritual master as an ordinary person. If you consider this, then the remedy is that you fall down at the lotus feet of your Guru Maharaj, beg for forgiveness, become pitiable, be very sincere and repent to not do this offense ever again. Because only by satisfying the spiritual master is how you will be able to satisfy Krishna. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, you will never be able to satisfy Krishna. So many of you know those who go in the morning program, Yasya prasada bhagavad prasado, Yasya aprasada nagati kutopi. That only by satisfying the spiritual master, you will be able to satisfy Krishna. All right. Next one, let's see who's to read. Samir, can you read what is highlighted on screen?
Radhe Radhe Guruji.
Radhe Radhe Hare Krishna.
To bless him the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Okay, so I have explained many times that I am not Guru, I am just a servant. So you can just call me by my name. Hare Krishna, request everybody to please do that. I am not a Guru. Okay, so number 4, that blasphemy of Vedic literature, example, scriptures we are referring to as Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Vedas, Upanishads, there are a few others. So neglecting means you are not going to the class because you don't like the speaker. Well, that becomes a blasphemy for the scripture. So you should still attend with attention, and Krishna will speak from within. Or you speak that scriptures are fiction or speak against scriptures. If you do this offense number 4, the remedy is that you chant and glorify scriptures, hear and preach scriptures, even if you don't like the speaker who's giving the class, still go and attend the class anyway. Okay. Number 5, Sheila.
To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Hare Krishna.
So, imagination means made up or not real. I don't really have a remedy for this if you consider Hare Krishna Mahamantra to be imagination. So just don't do this. No, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is coming directly from spiritual world. It's not some imagination. Okay, next one, Srijana, number 6.
To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, mundane interpretation to the holy name. Mundane means ordinary or material. So, Krishna's other name is Adokshaja. Adokshaja means something about material conception. So, holy name has come from spiritual world. The remedy, go to the assembly of devotees, repent publicly that I thought the holy name was mundane, and ask for forgiveness. Okay, let's see. Sumnima, number 7.
To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name, it should not be taken that because of chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kind of sinful reaction. One may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. Hare Krishna.
This is a very, very dangerous offense, number 7, that you commit sinful activity on the strength of holy name. It's like elephant taking shower or elephant going in the river and then coming out and rolling in a mud. Such offender will never get purified. So the remedy is shout out for help. Example, if a robber comes to rob, therefore the person will shout for help. So pure devotees and spiritual masters act like guardian. So you shout and ask for help. Ask Krishna for forgiveness. Ask forgiveness from devotees and increase your devotee association by those who are elevated. So this offense number 7 is very important, that you not do this, that you know that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the remedy. So I can go and do some sin and then ask for forgiveness. No, it is you will not get forgiveness. In Nectar of Devotion at the very start, we'll discuss this, that some religions, specifically Christians, they have a mockery of forgiveness, that they ask for forgiveness before committing a sin. Hare Baba, why are you asking for forgiveness before committing the sin? You should not be doing sin. So be very careful for this number 7, that don't commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Okay, Abhishek Prabhu, number 8.
Hare Krishna. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna, one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas is fruitive activities, karma kanda.
So ritualist activity means, karma kanda means that you're doing something for results, means some material results. But karma kanda is only the means and not the goal. So on the other hand, chanting is the means as well as the goal. So chanting only gives spiritual results and not material results. If you do offense number 8, the remedy is that you approach a householder Vaishnava who was originally from a low caste. You smear the dust from his lotus feet on your body, drink water from washing his feet, and take remnants of his prasadam. Okay, I think everybody has read. Anybody who did not read can read number 9. Anybody who did not read? Okay, anybody can read, please, quickly.
To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning, one should be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter.
So this is about instructing faithless. So Srila Prabhupada instructed faithless at the very start. So did he commit an offense? In Nectar of Devotion is described that anyone can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just don't get into details. So many of us right now are book distributors, and all of you will become book distributors, where materialistic people come. They generally don't have faith, and you are trying to preach to them. So are you committing an offense? So understand that in theory, yes, it's an offense, but then Krishna takes a higher principle that you are actually trying to bring that soul closer to Krishna. Therefore, Krishna does not take this as an offense. Plus, Prabhupada says that explain simple things. Don't get into details about devotional service and rasa dance and all that. No. Just simple. Talk about soul, talk about Hare Krishna Mahamantra, talk about karma. These are basic things that you can talk about. And when they are getting interested more, then you can get into details. Okay, last of the 10 offenses, Dhara wanted to read.
10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
So just as number 1 catches everyone, this number 10 catches everyone. Number 1 was about blasphemy of the devotees, and this offense number 10 about material attachment also catches everyone. This number 10 offense happens because you are not committed. The remedy for not being committed is that you chant in association of devotees. Or the other reason is that you are lazy. The remedy is again associate with advanced devotees. The third reason is distraction. The remedy is avoid external distractions and continue even if you are failing, because failure starts when you stopped attempting. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that distraction or attraction in the material world is the root cause of inattentive chanting. Distraction in chanting leads to craving for wealth and woman, and the result is one loses the spiritual taste. Questions, comments, realizations on the offenses before we discuss practical aspects.
Probably this point you mentioned that everyone is a devotee or like pure devotee. I got confused. What did you mention?
Yeah, everybody is a devotee, not pure devotee. Everybody is a devotee except me. Pure devotee, they are a different category. But if you treat everyone as a devotee except me, then you will avoid doing offenses to every single one, even materialistic people.
Like, but how do we see that? Because in day-to-day life, we'll see people doing things or saying things which are not.
Yeah. So at your workplace or when you are studying, be functionally present. I have described this many times. That be functionally present, you are there for a particular task. Somebody comes and asks you a particular task of the job that you are doing. You execute that, you are there for that function. Don't enter into gossip. It's when the gossip happens is when you end up doing offenses. Somebody is coming and asks you, like I'm an accountant. Somebody comes and asks me, what's the funding for so and so? I will give it to them. There's no offense. It's just a functional exchange. There's no offense there. Abhishek Prabhu?
And probably like in devotee community also, like how should we see that like there are devotees who may do things which I can't appreciate right now.
Yeah, very good. So we'll discuss this in Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. I think you might have attended. We have discussed this about trying to find faults. So many of you have heard this short lecture. And for you, batch number 6 and 7, it's an upcoming discussion, but I will briefly describe that everybody sees the good and the bad in others. If you see the bad in others, then the bad quality manifests in you. Why you are able to see the bad quality in others is because that bad quality actually exists in you. It is just manifesting differently by you seeing in others. Versus if you see the good quality in others, then the good quality manifests in you. So there's a discussion coming up in Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. I briefly described. If worst case scenario, there will be devotees for whom it is really, really difficult to find some good qualities. So instead of highlighting the bad qualities of that devotee, you turn around and look at good qualities in somebody else. That way you avoided the contamination for yourself. Abhishek Prabhu, does that help you?
I remember listening that lecture, Prabhuji, when you bring up that point.
Yeah.
But it's very find difficult.
Yeah, so it's a question of practice. So practice. As you go along, just try to look at good qualities. Yes, you will observe both good and bad, but walk away from the bad. Just try to look at good qualities. So if you want to have real compassion for somebody, then find how they can be engaged in service. Everybody has at least one good quality that you can use in Krishna's service. So try to find what quality does that devotee have, a good quality that can be used in Krishna's service. That way you are avoiding the negative. Abhishek Prabhu and everybody.
And Prabhuji, like when we are in a community and there are some devotees who are younger than us, like so like we may see things which like how like we have I may have some intention of helping him, but it is not that my intention is very
This is an
pure
upcoming
also.
discussion. So Abhishek Prabhu, you are in the Bhagavatam class. It's an upcoming discussion in the Bhagavatam class very soon, but I will briefly describe. So you do your part of helping the devotee, even if the devotee is junior. And if that junior devotee is not following your instructions, well, that is between him and Krishna. You do your part. Your role is to guide a junior devotee. You did your part. What he does beyond that is between him and Krishna. Not that if you have some close affectionate relation, of course you will go and correct. But if you don't have an affectionate relationship, then it is beyond your point to correct that devotee. Then you just leave it to Krishna. You just do your service, that you did your part right. Abhishek Prabhu?
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right. So we'll go a little over. If everybody is okay, just tolerate. We'll just go a little over. Just I want to discuss the practical points. So we discussed the theory. Now let's come to the practice point. Everybody have undivided attention and work very closely with me because everybody will answer. So here's the first question. What will you do if you commit an offense to somebody else? Quickly answer. Quickly, everybody quickly answer.
Ask for forgiveness.
Okay, what else?
Like, do something for him.
Yeah, something as in service, menial service. Yeah. So very good. So if you do an offense, you fall at his feet, ask for forgiveness, and ask for menial service. And if the devotee is not ready to forgive you, then you ask for forgiveness from the holy name or from Gopinath. Now, visualize this, that when you are asking for service, judge the other devotee. At that time, you do the service, doesn't matter. But generally, if the devotee is a pure devotee, he will say, no, I haven't taken offense, so there is no need for you to do any service to me. This is the humble nature of a pure elevated devotee. You still go and do some service to him. Versus if the devotee is little puffed up, the devotee will say, okay, now let me take advantage of you. Okay, so you still do the service that the devotee is asking you to do, as long as it is reasonable. But then understand that you also realize that this particular devotee is not necessarily an elevated devotee. Everybody on the same page?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Next question, very important. Everybody will answer. Everybody please answer. Okay. So first I will let me first finish this. That if you commit an offense, the Bhagavatam reference, what I described is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, where Durvasa Muni offended Amrish Maharaj, and Amrish Maharaj is a pure devotee. Take a snapshot of this. You won't be reading. And then Durvasa Muni is a powerful Muni. He went all the way to Narayan and said, you protect me. I came to shelter of you. And Narayan sent him back. He said, no, I cannot forgive you. You go and take shelter of my pure devotee and ask forgiveness from the devotee. So Durvasa Muni came back and asked forgiveness from Amrish Maharaj. So again, take a snapshot. There in Canto 9, Chapter 4, at the verses on the screen. And that's how then Durvasa Muni's life was spared. So this again is continuation of Canto 9, Chapter 5, that Durvasa Muni came and asked for forgiveness from Amrish Maharaj, and Amrish Maharaj asked the Sudarshan Chakra to spare Durvasa Muni's life. So I clearly described and gave the reference for the first question. Now this second question, everybody will answer. Question is, what to do if someone else commits an offense against you? Everybody quickly please answer.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we should forget him.
Okay.
Forgive him, sorry.
Okay, forgive. Very good. Everybody quickly.
Yes, Prabhuji, agree with the devotee to forgive the person.
Okay, Dara.
Let them know that you're not offended and it's okay.
All right, Sumnima.
Yes, Prabhuji, let them know that we do not take that personally and these things don't matter to us.
Okay, Mansi.
We should not take it as an offense. We should take it as an Krishna's mercy to be more humble.
Okay, I got various answers. Abhishek Prabhu.
Yes, same point to the previous point. Krishna's hand.
Which point? Repeat your answer.
Krishna's hand. Like we should see what is
Okay.
Krishna's hand.
Okay, I got various answers. Rest of you, please answer quickly. What will you do if somebody else commits an offense against you? Srijana?
We should forgive them.
Okay.
Keep a distance and forget about it.
Okay, forgive. Okay. Rest of you who have not answered, quickly please answer.
Yes, Prabhu, forgive them.
Okay,
Yeah,
Sheila.
we should not take it to our heart and just forgive them.
Okay, Nishan Prabhu.
Just we should forgive them, Prabhuji.
All right, Nishan.
Not to take that as an offense and just leave it.
Okay, I got various answers. Very good. Chaitanya Prabhu.
Yeah, we should forgive them, and if they realize their mistake, we just can guide them about. We can give them Gita, or we can guide them about how to get in touch with Krishna or something.
Everybody have undivided attention. If you try to forgive someone, means you took the offense. Means the devotee already has negative consequences. So if we discussed earlier that everybody is a devotee except me, so where is the question of forgiving anyone? Because if you take the offense and then forgive, well, that other person, the other devotee is already having negative consequences. So we discussed that a pure devotee will not take the offense at all. So whatever happens to you, somebody does to you, take it as Krishna's mercy. We'll discuss, this is described at great length in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17 and 18. It's an upcoming discussion in batch number 3 and 4. That devotees don't worry about something at the personal level. There's no question of forgiveness. It is my karma that has come back to me. What I have to forgive? Because if I forgive means I took the offense. Therefore, if somebody commits an offense against you, you don't need to teach anything to anyone. You don't need to take anybody's offense. You just have to remember Krishna, that without Krishna's approval, nobody can do anything wrong to me. Now, I did not make this up. This is described at great length in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, verse number 48, where Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by a Brahmana boy. Parikshit Maharaj is powerful enough to curse back, to reverse the curse. But Parikshit Maharaj did not do anything. He took it as Vishnu's or Krishna's blessings on him. That the curse was that Parikshit Maharaj will die in 7 days. Parikshit Maharaj did not curse back, did not counteract at all. So take a snapshot. This is a very important purport to read and apply. Right now, I want some devotee to read what is highlighted on the screen. Quickly, please. Somebody quickly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Diksha, go ahead.
But a powerful devotee never misuses the power for personal benefit. Whatever power the devotee may have is always utilized in service towards the Lord and his devotees only. Key point, devotees are never inclined to counteract personal defamation. Hare
Right? So
Krishna.
somebody commits an offense to me, it's my personal defamation, it's my own bad karma, and my own bad karma cannot manifest unless Krishna sanctions. So where I don't have to do anything. Only if there is an offense committed against devotees of Krishna or Krishna is when you all stand up. I'll come to the point as well. The next question. Everybody on the same page?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Last question also everyone will answer. Now what do you do? So previous were individual scenarios. Now here's the scenario which Mansi anyway raised. What to do when person A commits an offense against a devotee and or against Krishna, meaning you are a third person. Everybody please answer. What will you do?
Hare Krishna, we should leave the place, Prabhu.
Okay. What else?
Prabhuji, we should try to explain him according to his status.
All right. Rest of you, quickly please answer.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, realize that the person is a fallen soul and be compassionate towards them.
Okay, so what will you do? Yes, you are explaining your thought process, but what action will you take? Diksha?
Prabhuji, maybe not consider their opinion or not try to even correct
No,
them.
we discussed in the previous class, in the previous question, not class, previous question, that if somebody commits an offense against me, it's personal, I don't worry. But if an offense is committed against a devotee and or against Krishna, you have to do something about it. You cannot sit silently. I'll give you an example. So Diksha and Raksha are sisters. If somebody, Diksha, you tell me, if somebody does something wrong to Raksha, what will you do?
Prabhuji, be very angry.
Yes. So if you have relation with Krishna and somebody does something wrong to devotee, why are you not angry? Right? So we
Prabhuji,
have to...
I do get offended, but do not waste my energy trying to explain them stuff.
So that is not correct. So why your answer is different against Raksha and against devotees? right? So you have to realize that if you have relation with somebody, whether it's your material body relation or you are trying to develop or revive your relation with devotee and Krishna, well, you should be same. Rest of you quickly answer, and I'll come to the answer and we'll get Diksha get the answer. Nishant Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, just take the necessary steps to correct that other person that he did some mistakes, like other devotees to the Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Hold your thought for a little more while. Okay. Rest of you, what will you do? Anybody? Last one, Raksha.
Prabhuji, I would try to convince the person and try to bring him closer to Krishna through right scriptural guidance.
Okay.
And even if they don't understand after that, I would just leave that place and go away.
Okay. Very good. So everybody have undivided attention that what you have to do when person A commits an offense against a devotee and or against Krishna, and you are a third person. So the solution, you have 3 steps to follow. One of the 3 steps. One is you should be so expert so as to defeat the opposing party by scriptural reference, not by getting angry, by being peaceful, not what Diksha says, that she gets angry. No. You don't have to get angry, because if you get angry, it's anyway going to agitate and contaminate the whole circumstance. You have to be peaceful, and you have to be so expert to defeat the opposing party by scriptural reference. And what Raksha correctly pointed out, your goal is to bring the offender closer to Krishna. Asking forgiveness or asking them to get forgiveness, no. That is all secondary. Your goal is that this person A who has committed offense, he should be brought closer to Krishna. And you can do this only when you are an expert in scriptures and you are able to peacefully explain why this person A has to change what he has been doing. Second option is give up your life. Now, this second option, devotees should not adopt this. This is in a very extreme circumstances. And the third step is to leave the place and go away. If you think that it is beyond your ability to explain, then you go away from that place so that at least you are not hearing and not being part of that offense. And this step number 3 you will do only when you are not an expert. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations?
Yes, Prabhuji, understood. But I have one more question. Next, continue. So let's say in that situation, I should leave the place. But what should I do? I was in that situation, and then I already heard the bitching about the other devotees. Now,
Yeah,
what should I do?
So basically, you have committed an offense. So we discussed
Yes.
in the practice and the practical question number 1. So you have committed an offense against the devotee for whom you heard via third as being a third person. You go and offer obeisances to the devotee against whom you heard the gossip and ask for doing some menial service. Nancy?
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. But in some situation, what happened that me and the other person both are like in we both are in only like let's say I and the other person, we are the only person who were there in that
Doesn't
place.
matter.
And
It's not only person. Krishna also takes the offense. Understand?
Yeah.
Krishna takes the offense whether or not you think somebody took the offense or not. So be very careful. Don't just think it's only me and somebody else. No.
Yes, but Prabhuji, in that situation, in such a situation, like I was in that situation that I want to leave that place, but the circumstances were such that I could not leave that place.
Yeah, so you try to then ask for forgiveness. Again, these are You have to apply according to time, place, and circumstances, and ask for forgiveness from the devotee against whom you heard the gossip. And if it is not possible, then ask for forgiveness from the holy name and Gopinath, with the intention that on a go forward basis, you will not do this offense, means you will become an expert in scriptures, so that next time when you are not able to leave the place, you should be able to defeat the other person by scriptural guidance. Mansi?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you.
My last point for today, thank you for tolerating a few extra minutes. We don't have to be afraid of these offenses. Rather, to avoid offenses, we have to be conscious of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. We have to be respectful to Krishna and Krishna's devotees. So I will repeat that the symptoms of offenseless chanter, which are described in Shikshastakam by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that one thinks himself to be lower than grass, tolerant than a tree, does not expect personal honor, and prepared to give respect to others, meaning symptoms of an offenseless chanter are: one, he is humble; second, he is tolerant; third, he is prideless; and fourth, he gives respect to everyone. For our next class, I will post a shell document in the chat. I request all of you to please print or draw this on a blank piece of paper, or print it on an A4 size or letter size page. And we will start chapter 3 from our next class. Any questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna. Is this point on asking for forgiveness, this also, because of our pride, this also is a very difficult thing.
Yeah, you are correct that pride comes in the way. So be humble, develop humility. So it's an upcoming discussion in our Bhagavad Gita study. So develop humility.
Thank you.
Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations? Was this a heavy class?
Yes, Prabhuji, quite heavy and different than our regular ones.
Okay, but understand that this is very important, that we don't do offenses.
Yes, Prabhuji, this class was so useful for our day to like for the daily life. Thank you for such a beautiful class.
Very good. All glories are always for Guru Maharaj and all glories are always for Srila Prabhupada. It is actually your super excellent continued services. It is your super excellent intent to not do offenses is where I get my inspiration. So it's thank you for all your inspiration, that I am able to speak on the subject matter. So everybody please print the shell template for our next class, and we will continue with our Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 onwards. So those of you who are not yet caught up on the previous classes, please get the recordings for me and get caught up. And chapter 3 onwards, the classes will become a little bit easier compared to what they have been. At least for chapter 2 was very heavy. Chapter 3 onwards, at least, will be slightly easier. Of course, there will be classes heavier as well. Are we okay to stop here?
Prabhuji, I had just one question.
Yep, Prabhu, go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna. So, Prabhuji, what is the difference between what is the aparad and the pap?
So I described that aparad or offense is at spiritual level and pap or sin is at material level. Material and spiritual do not intersect. Aparad is more dangerous because aparad takes you away from devotional service. Aparad takes you away from Srimati Radharani, And basically the result is that you will be continuously, eternally be bound in the material world. So both sin and aparad are bad, but aparad or offense is worse or more dangerous because it keeps you bound in the material world by taking you away from devotional service. Deep Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Are we okay to stop here?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna,
Thank you. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.